Hi guys, it's Magni and welcome back to my channel.
On today's video, I will be talking about both CarXstreet Android version and iOS version.
You have probably seen, they shared some leaks from Android version of CarXstreet work in progress.
So many people were excited, but you have to ask yourself if Android version will be any better. Well, still waiting. But there is a lot of issues concerning CarXstreet iOS, and I'm not even joking. Many iOS users, including me, face a lot of problems on CarXstreet iOS.
Some like
So you can see there is a lot more to fix on iOS. Now, the truth about CarXstreet Android is that there isn't enough room for this game on it. It needs more time. We all know iOS performs better with gaming, and with this issue, they need to take a lot of time to work on it, and also for iOS. I know this is heartbreaking, but let's accept the fact. Many people think CarX developers can just copy from the Apple Store and paste on Play Store. No, creating a game doesn't work like that. They use different softwares for both device and it takes time.
for both new and experienced programmers, iOS is generally easier to develop for. iOS apps generally require less development time and are cheaper to build and maintain than Android apps. iOS developers use Swift, Apple's native programming language, whereas Android developers typically use Java or Kotlin.
Due to all this, Android game developers often need 30-40 more time to create a mobile game application than the creators of the iOS option, so hope we have to wish for the best to happen, not pressure the developers.
I know I told you the game will be released within 15th and 17th, but the developers are still working on it.
They have the game ready to be released, but there is a lot of problems for Android, and let me tell you some. iPhone works well, delivers a high-quality experience and is easy to use, but the developers are still having issues to make it work perfectly. This is because the game is extremely performance-intensive game.
But most Android phones have 3 to 4 gigabytes of RAM and are not mainly used for gaming. Not everyone can afford the 6 to 12 gigabytes RAM Android phone, so CarX developers need to work on the performance for these phones. I hope you don't get me wrong, I wish I could play with my Android friends as well, but we need to be patient and wait for the best to happen. CarXstreet Android will blow the gaming community, and I am certainly sure the developers can't wait to see their game being at the top.
Now that we're done with Android, let's talk about some things we need in CarXstreet.
The main thing we need now is optimization.
Yes, optimization, as you have seen in my previous post, and some others. I lag a lot when I get to the city. And this is really sad. It's not just the city, but the whole map.
It's unplayable without cooling fans. I used to play with one cooling fan, but after the previous update, I have to buy another cooling fan, which is kind of expensive, and sometimes they both can't handle it. I will leave a link in the description for the fans I use. For me, I don't think the city building are important enough. If you look at some games like Forza and CarX Drift, they barely have high buildings or towers. This improves the overall performance of the game and also reduces the size of the game. I know CarXstreet is unique, but honestly I don't like the map, and that's my opinion.
Second thing we need is controller support and screen steering wheel. I am a big fan of controller, but there's no controller support. Most people play mobile games because it has controller and it's easy to use. With CarX Drift, they failed to add controller support even though the game is on console.
I think adding controller support and screen steering wheels will increase the player database of the game and will bring more attention.
Another thing we need is 60 FPS. There's no much to talk about it, but I think they need to add an option to choose between 30 FPS and 60 FPS. This will enable players on high-end phone or iPad to have great experience and smoothness.
Another this is the syncing with car from other end of other users. Let me show a clip from CarXstreet if you don't understand what this is. This is what it is. I don't know if it's lag or a bug, but I came across that a lot of time when playing with other players. If it's a bug, then hopefully they fix it. Shout out to CarXstreet, by the way. He inspired me to do YouTube. Another thing is wrap customization, for there's no much to talk about, but we need wrap customization and more.
I know there are more stuff coming in the next update, and I'm very excited to experience them. Another thing we need is free look option. The only way to free look is by using the picture mode, which doesn't operate while moving. But with CarXstreet, they need to add it, because it's an open world game, and most players would like to have a free look of the environment.
Most of their games don't have it, and I don't know why. Maybe they have reasons for that.
And this is the only way to do it. They've done a great job to bring us this game, but there's more room for improvement, and hopefully they do it before next year.
For Android, they have not disclosed any information yet, but I will keep you guys updated as soon as possible. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. See you next time and Merry Christmas.